Private Living, Saquarema City, Federative Unit, Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, National State, Brazil. We have a conversation today, 11 May 2022, considering the current effort as Risk Report 2022 trace.blogspot.com, which is conversation with the US judicial system. We will have in mind the misusage of chairs indeed will set circles of corruption that can get a single individual or a company or a state officer or an international officer. And it will go by hoax, by misperception of facts and circumstances, and by obvious in our case by the misusage on chairs which belongs to an office or public department inside one specific building. By this misusage integrated or associated with other department on public area or offices at the corporative area will give you the idea as geopolitical empowerment by criminal purpose and intent. It means that can, for instance, corrupt levels until get your family or family members in order to put you down by poison or something like this, or threats, or have the to do not have barriers and allow the entrance on your house in the middle of the night, or even the use by tolerance of the corruption of your mobile or the mobile of your relative to access your things or your network or things like this. This is a circumstance that we must consider in a conjuncture ruled by failure oriented by criminal purpose. Then we will check that recently Judicial sees America inside the Security Forum, which has and must have the institutional dialogue with the judicial system in Brazil. You can request information about one case that is ongoing in Rio de Janeiro City, Rio de Janeiro State, and the Federative Unit is the Rio de Janeiro, and the National State Brazil. It means that at the very first moment you consider Brazil and USA equal as sovereignty to be under obligations like transparency and accountability and legal accomplishment. And in the same way, with the right to claim things, for instance, compensation or the protection of your officers or person that has interest for you, something like this. This case ongoing is against one specific organized group, very intense with a huge activity in Rio de Janeiro, and for sure since the 70s, carrying a lot of authority on it. And in general, we have the nepotism on the public departments. And the public department uses the public budget. And some police officers got caught. But we must observe that it's an electoral period in Brazil, despite I do not like politics, but I must, face this terrible period. And people kind of got angry, anxious, and mad, not by the politics, but because the politics is the pathway to achieve a public chair that allowed you to have the access on public budget. The easy way is by the parliament. As the law house get a chair, you will have your own bite at this public budget. And it's a huge money, but we have, despite this huge money, they overprice contracts and things like this. It's kind of a rule of thumb. And people, kind of the street gang groups as leaders, was sent to jail, and they had the speed that they are financing the political parties, the politicians. But the problem is that these relations as debit and credit on account do not match. And we will check, we will use our model. Our model is like this. We will consider that we have the public area on red. Red, not red. We will have the blue area as cooperative area. The cross-cut between two both in general will go by, some kind of thing named contract or instrument that give us this association. I will put as contract. I will carry this vector as a drive by the public department and this one by the cooperative area. And this relation by contract using our model that you, criminal authority, violated by the corruption, by the lenient behavior, by the misperception, as for instance, let's suppose that you use the Google account, my entire family, to create a Twitter account or have the access as an exclusive service as Spotify, or clone the mobile and have the use by the Google account. Even if you are kind of beyond the hell, you kind of will be presented as Villa Saquarema. You are amazing. You would like to send me today to jail tomorrow one more time. But I will ask you, criminal offender, to take a look at this board. Here we have a contract. Here we have the public department. Here we have the cooperative area. The association of both in general will be by a contract. Let's suppose that this contract that is on this area here had an oscillation as a major price. And in a second moment, you will have the speech as the inflation and things like this. You had another oscillation, changing the behavior at this point that indeed give you something like this to an area. And they will put like this, that we name on finances as future market, handmade by the coalition as rates and index between the relation as cooperative area and public area. Is this confirmed? It means that we will have one zone here as the result, which is named overprice, but it's illegal. When you do this, you kind of set an stipulation to someone else, and you can declare this on your tax department or be under the property evaluation. And in the same way, these contracts, if is made based on the center as investment, in general in Brazil is the public, it's a public contract. It means that we have the public budget here. Confirm it. You must confirm this authority, criminal authority. Then we will check that all these will have a fake record. To do not have this explicit. But the money in general diverted, we will observe that go to an area that has an origin as result that you can research or have the accuracy as origin. Kind of, you will hide the overpriced contract, saying that this overpriced contract it's a result as a gang group that is doing the traffic activity in a ghetto or something like this. And then we understand that you have multiple levels, kind of the multiverse as laundry scam. We will check that this model allowed us to get you by the not proper relation as a balance between debit and credit. Because if you consider that the overpriced contract that you transfer as overpriced contract, the value overpriced, it's like this. You have the cost of your contract plus the overpriced value that you will transfer to an area that is an entire criminal area, and you will say that now this is the new origin of this value as a result of this criminal activity, in general the drug trafficking. But the value got so much huge, involve all institutions as integrated failure and impacting all areas, even as individual, a steering committee, another judicial power or constitution, that you will not have the review of this. But the financial control sometimes bring ourselves to this kind of thing. That this origin now as the criminal ghetto is covering, the contract overpriced with the origin and the public budget. And if this comes since 1988, why do you consider that you have this exponential behavior until 2028 inside the security forum? This area here is the negative one, as the interface with the future based on the past, considering the target as even on Rio de Janeiro by this strike against this criminal organization that do the exploitation as gambling. In the same way, you will say that the money comes from the gambling, but it's a big money. No one in the entire Brazil make bets on Rio de Janeiro using this illegal gambling. Debit and credit doesn't match. But you like this. Of course that our authorities, one will offer this information, but maybe the criminals as drug dealers and the members of this organization named Jogo do Bicho will carry this information about the origin of this resource and help America to put this scam like this down the dumps. Simple to get. Any question? Will send me to jail tomorrow, criminal authority. I bet you will be on jail. By silence we're acting with the organized crime law in Brazil, 12,850. The instrument is named follow-up or ação controlada. We will cross this situation on Rio de Janeiro with the complaint on Rio de Janeiro and Saquarema by violation of basic rights and guarantee, by corruption continued and impact this industrial portfolio. Your behavior, criminal authority and offenders associated with is incremental. It means go by marginalism, which is a theory on Chicago, New Classic School. And it's systematic. And, You can't say that is something aleatory, but it's for sure something that you do by consciousness. You do by the will, as keep doing the thing you do. Because if even when I raise the security as personal security or mobile, like you are trying to have the access of my relative mobiles right now, we are kind of improving your systematic and marginal as marginalized behavior. Your station is critical criminal offender. By silence, you will be sent to jail because the criminals, as real criminals, will talk first to the American judicial power.